county mayor thinks he's stitched us up, then he can think again. So you've been studying polyculture, have you? Resisting making the pineapples joke. Hey guys, we're back with another episode of PowerWash Simulator 2, and as always, gotta start the game by saying hello to our babies. Don't worry, Ulysses, I'm still threatening the bad man if he tries to take you. The lawyers will get drowned just as he will. But last time, I'm trying to remember which one it was last time. I think we did the cement mixer. Let's see, this time we've got a whole frickin' farmhouse to clean. Ah, it's you, great. Love the name change, it suits you. You'll be pleased to know that you're not the only one adapting. With everything what's gone on lately, we're trying our hands at regenerative farming. This barn is to be our new farm shop, front and center. It needs to look the part, and I know you got that covered. Don't you worry yourself about my pooches running around, getting in the way and biting your ankles. I've sent everyone I could find off to the dog cafe for the day. I'm sorry, you know that your dogs go around biting people, and you just let them? If they try to go after my cats, I'ma spray them. They're getting the most powerful and aggressive spritz of their lives. Oh. Try to remember if we've done that windmill before, either in this game or the last. Can't remember right now, though. Alright, where are the babies hiding? I always gotta start the game by fighting my babies. And also healthy, it's like oh wow. This thing is big. And then there's a whole frickin' silo we gotta get to. How far out can I... Okay, I can only go to, like, this line. Still not too bad. Oh! There's our beauty, Ulysses. Hello, baby. That car looks familiar. So maybe we have worked with this person before. I mean, I'm pretty sure we did, considering that they talk like they knew us. Aw, Bubbles, you silly baby. Are you comfy on that car? I haven't seen Squeak, but I'm sure they're around here somewhere. The gnomes. They lurk everywhere. Never trust the gnomes. Okay. I kind of want to actually start on that silo first. So let's see what we can do here. How bad is this grime? Oh. Not too bad, all things considered. Actually. There we go. Let's see how this works instead. Because, yeah, there's going to be a lot of this that we have to hit. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be the way to do it for right now. I kind of wish we had some, like, repelling gear or something. I feel like that would be cool to have, maybe in, like, the next game. Oh, there's Annie. Don't know if you heard about all the gerrymandering our friendly Mayor Jeff Jefferson's been doing lately. Well, he's just changed up the town boundary so that now our little farm is Pumpton now, and not Muckenham. I know exactly why. Is it a taxes thing? Or like a voting thing? Because, yeah, for anybody who's not from America, there are very weird rules in regards to how our votes are counted for things. And part of it is based on how different maps and counties are drawn out. And having farmland actually can be either an advantage or disadvantage depending on what political party is running for a certain area. Because there are some where if the predominant is in favor of one party and you have a certain amount of farm property, then it actually increases the votes that you can get for your area, because it's stupid and outdated, and I don't know why we don't just go to a majority vote system already. Because America is stupid and behind the times. But no, they do all this stupid territory mapping and electoral college and all this bullshit. Yes, I have very strong feelings about the electoral college being an outdated practice that is no longer needed, and that with the advent of technology, we don't need to be counting land and property over the number of people who are actually voting for the issues. Because if we did that, then there's certain groups who know they wouldn't get voted for at all and would constantly lose. And to that, I say that is a problem with your policies and practices needing to be updated. Like, I have actually had this debate with one of my cousins before. Yes, it is one of the same cousins who the family doesn't talk to anymore because they're hardcore COVID deniers. And I've had this same debate with another, like a coworker of mine, who also votes. So they're both Republicans, but the difference is when I discuss my feelings regarding the Electoral College, the friend I had from work who I would get into friendly debates with, he actually was able to cite his reasons for believing the Electoral College is still necessary by bringing up his argument of fair representation for people who live predominantly in farming areas or farming states. While I don't agree with it, he at least has a reason for the argument. Whereas when I tried debating with my cousin about that previously, his argument literally boiled down to, and I got him to this point of just going around in circles with him. His argument literally got to the point of, well, if everybody voted majority, then the Republicans wouldn't win. Like, dude, the fact that you are admitting that. I'm trying to just see which one of these is a better stream for this real quick. Yeah, I feel like that one is. But it's like, dude, the fact that you are admitting this means that you acknowledge the majority of the country does not agree with your group's values. And instead of seeing it as your group needs to change and update their practices, beliefs, and principles to fit with the changing times, it turns into, no, the rest of the world just needs to not win. Like, I'm pretty sure that takes away you're basically saying you want outdated systems to stay in place because you don't want your group to lose. And that is the really telling mentality right there. And that's why I kind of stopped after a while doing political debates with them, because it turns into arguing with a brick wall. Those are the type of people who don't have any intellectual points. They are the kind who just blindly follow whatever they're told to follow from their group's leaders, without thinking critically about the how, the why, the who things are being hurt. They really don't care. And it's that sort of mentality that unfortunately can be impossible to argue with without just stressing yourself out. And I've got enough stress in my life not to bother with that, you know? So, when we stopped talking to them, it's not really anything I miss too much. I mean, I miss the relationship. Okay, I couldn't tell if that was something I could clean. I just saw those spots there. I was like, I miss the relationship we used to have before they fell hardcore onto that bandwagon. I miss, you know, like the younger cousins I would play ping pong with in the garage at my grandparents' place on Christmas. And I miss that sort of stuff with them. But I don't miss the people that they turned into, who have just basically turned into the kind who form who base their complete personality and opinions around whatever they see on their preferred news stations, and refused. Whoop. Well, that could have been a nasty fall. This is real life. But yeah, like I said, I just it's a complicated thing because, like I said, I miss them, but I don't miss who they've become. And it is a sad thing to see when you lose relationships with family members over them changing that drastically. Or in some cases, not even really that they're changing, it's that they feel like they don't have to hide who they are anymore, I guess would be the better way to put it, because there are a lot of these people who have had these sorts of thoughts and feelings in their heads, and for a while they were keeping quiet about it because public opinion was turning against them. But I said before that one of the things that annoys me the most about our current president, aside from him pretty much be like straight up trying to be a dictator and people are still refusing to acknowledge that, is that he emboldens the people who think like that, well, that is broken ankles in real life right there. But yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not even that I fear what he himself can do. I fear and detest what the people who follow him are able to get away with and what they feel emboldened and able to do when they feel like, hey, the president agrees with us, so that means we're the ones in the right now. So because they stopped hiding, they stopped fearing any sort of social repercussions for being hateful, bigoted, racist, xenophobic, all of that. I need to swap this around. This is... Come on. Grab the thing. Thank you. Yeah, that's the way I want it facing. So I think it's a little bit awkward to maneuver sometimes. But yeah, sorry, I kind of went on a little mini rant there. I don't know what it is about PowerWash Simulator. I think it's because there is definitely a political nature to this game, with the fact that one of the characters you deal with a lot, who either is causing problems or you're seeing the repercussions of the problems, is a political figure. So I guess it just kind of pushes me towards talking about that sort of thing whenever I play this game. And I know that a lot of people come to, you know, like, watch gaming videos to get away from the realness of the outside world, and honestly, I use video games as my escape too. Yeah. Sorry, I had to adjust something real quick. So I totally understand it, and if you're not interested in hearing about that sort of stuff, totally valid. Will never blame yourself and never feel bad for protecting your own mental health, because that is the only thing you really can do for yourself sometimes, is just tune out the things that are stressing you out unnecessarily. Trying to see what I'm missing on this panel here. Let's see. Let's just go up a little bit more. There we go. So yeah, I will never begrudge somebody for clicking off of a video because I got into a political thing. Because I do the same thing. I do not follow any political stuff on social medias, and I don't watch certain news channels because they get so absorbed in politics. So I totally get it. Like I said, no hard feelings, no disrespect, and people are allowed to disagree with me. I never have an issue with that. If I'm saying something and people disagree with me, then hey, that is part of the point of this country being the way it is. It's supposed to be that it's a nation where people are allowed to debate, where they're allowed to have freedom of speech and share what they disagree with without fear of repercussion. At least legally. People tend to use the whole freedom of speech thing as a way to justify, oh, I can say what I want and you can't get mad at me because freedom of speech. No, bud. Freedom of speech means you are free to say what you want and not be punished for it legally. There are no legal repercussions for you speaking your mind and your opinions. That does not absolve you of social consequences. You can still absolutely say something and get torn apart for it rightfully and have people not trust you anymore for what you said, or disagreeing so hard with what you said or did that they do not want to work with you or socialize with you. You can't just claim freedom of speech and then use it to say hateful and heinous shit. Not how that works. I mean, like I said, you can, and you can be free from... Let me see if I can just get the ladder over here, because there's like one little spot up there I'm missing, and it's driving me crazy. Let's get... Can I use this one on the silo? I don't know if I can, actually. No, it does not look like I can. Well, that sucks. Okay, let's just get this guy over to the next area. There we go, that should be good. Yeah, I've got, again, people in my family who will pull that sort of BS, and it always annoys me. It's like they will, if I try to say something back to them, like, hey, I don't approve of what you're saying, or I think you're wrong, or I think that view is outdated and horrible, then they'll be like, hey, I'm just exercising my right to freedom of speech. You can't tell me that's bad. I'm like, yes, I absolutely can. Because in the same breath where you're telling me that I can't tell you what to say, you can't tell me what to say and what to feel in response to what you said. If you say something, then you are opening the door for people to say something back. You don't get to just, like I said, you don't get to just say what you want and think you're never ever gonna get judged for it. Like, even on a minor scale, I've seen people try to pull that, even when it's not anything political. They try to be like, oh, well, you know, I'm just brutally honest and you can't take away my right to freedom of speech. That's another thing that really gets on my nerves, is when people try to use the excuse of being brutally honest, heavy quotation marks on that, to get away with insulting people or talking down to them or doing really toxic, harsh criticisms. Like, I have said before, I am open to criticism, and I have no problem with that. As long as it is constructive criticism. Examples being, back when I had my old voice, there were people who did give feedback that they didn't really like it and that they thought it was hard to listen to. And that is constructive criticism. Whereas I have seen on some people's, I follow some people on Tumblr, and I've seen some people give criticism on their art that is just, oh my god, your art sucks, or ew, you're a fan of this? That is not constructive. That is in no way helping them become a better artist. That is not helping anybody. That is just you being a dick to somebody who is trying to express themselves creatively. And in some cases, better than some of the people who are criticizing them. And that's what really annoys me. Like, I fully acknowledge I am not an artist. I am terrible at drawing. Well, I guess I shouldn't say terrible at drawing, but it is definitely not my specialty. I am not good with I guess you could say, free line drawing. I can draw, I can design clothes and stuff. I'm good at that. I actually really like fashion stuff. But I need a model. I need a base to work off of. I'm trying to see which parts. Aha, I still got some on this. I need something to work off of to help me be better. Otherwise, I'm not good with, proportions and body stuff like that. But I have mad respect for people who can draw. Even if you don't feel like you draw well, chances are you still draw better than a lot of people. And I always give respect to my artist friends who are able to make such cool things. Because, hey, I cannot do half of what some of them do. So I always try to, even if I'm in one of my moods where I can't really be social, because sometimes the anxiety brain gets to me. Try to get that last little spot up top there. But, even some days when the anxiety brain gets to me a little bit too much and I can't bring myself to interact with people, I still, try to react with something whenever they share on Discord or something, try to do a little emoji reaction or something to let them know that I think their work is really cool. Get this guy over here now. Tap on the right side. No. It's hard to tell which way is the right side with this thing. But, yeah, I'll still try to do some sort of reaction to let them know that I think what they made is really cool. Because it is. I love all the stuff my friends make. I've said before that writing is one of my hobbies. For those of you who know me from Tumblr and AO3, you know that, even though I don't always have the time or energy to post. Partially because I actually do writing commissions, and now I'm not putting my writing commission stuff on my YouTube channel because I want to keep those things separate. Okay, I think that's everything over here. Oh wait, saw something. This panel. There we go. But yeah, I also do writing commissions, and I try not to post those because the rules for writing commissions are very different than art commissions. So I don't always, I don't really post those. Those are just things I write for people, for the people who pay for them. Oh my god, that is like straight up grass on here. Sorry, I got distracted by that for a second there. There we go, that's a big one. But, yeah, so writing those takes a lot of my time, so I haven't really posted a lot of my free stuff. But I have had the very, very good fortune of having people who liked my work enough to draw fan art for me. And that is always the most amazing and special feeling in the world when when people like my stuff so much they draw something for it. Oh, got Annie back. You'll see, now we're in Pumpton, we can't draw water from the Kalakalama River. Our farming's instantly become completely unsustainable. The mayor's trying to shut me down, presumably revenge for my monks from the temple up there on the hill egging his mansion years ago. Oh, I remember that. That was in the first game. Nice continuity. The man's pettiness knows no bounds. Yeah, I remember that. That's one of the first times we met the mayor. And you had to use, like, the distance nozzles to clean his house. Because he didn't want to open the gates for you because he does not like to let the pores near his mansion. So yeah, that's I always like when this game brings back the continuity from the first one. So yeah, I remember that thing that we got to do. This is just the right amount of continuity for this game. Referencing back some of the jobs you did before, but not in any sort of way where if you don't know it, then you're going to be completely lost. You could very easily get the gist of it just from that text alone. Or like, even with the, like, stuff about the statue in the beginning. You could definitely, like, kind of do that's a little bit of a lore-heavy thing, but even that isn't, like, too hard to figure out what they're talking about with that, especially after you do that little carnival water game, where you're cleaning up the shooting gallery, and then you're doing they're basically all the landmarks and special things from the first game. That definitely gives you a little bit of context for everything. There we go. Got underneath the gutters pretty well. The only thing that's a little bit frustrating with this one is just, like I said before, that it's kind of a pain to figure out which way it wants to go. But, I mean, it gets this wall done so quickly and efficiently that I really can't complain. It doesn't leave the little teeny tiny spots. Like, it can leave a spot occasionally, but it's something that's usually pretty easy to see still. So it's not like some of the other washers where you'll have this little tiny microscopic speck of a spot. You have to try and guess where it is or hit the little light up button to see if you can find it. Let's see, come on. Ah, underneath, that's where. Okay. And then get this last corner over here. Alright, that's at least a wall done. This I probably need to swap back to on my other ones, but that at least saved me some time with having to get all of this, all the flat area. Sorry, I kind of got distracted, but yeah, I was saying that I always get really, really excited whenever I have somebody who draws fan art for something that I've written, and I always get really emotional, and I get like, oh my gosh, yes! Ah, I love it, thank you. It never matters to me how, like, I don't care if it's, like, pristine level, oh my gosh, this is the greatest picture, look at the detailing, the shading, like, yes, that's always really cool. But even just, like, the little doodles and scribbles I've had people do for me before, it still makes me happy. It still makes me cry sometimes, honestly. I thought I saw, like, a thing pop up on here when I was on the site earlier. Might have been wrong. Just double checking. I'm really hoping I don't have to go into the barn or anything, because that's going to be a pain if I do. There's a lot more to clean than I thought there would be if that's the case. Just go ahead and hit this corner real quick. I just want to get up underneath. Actually, there we go. Oops. Yeah, I just want to get up underneath that roof edge just at least a little bit. Okay, let's get you... Let's put you on the side for now. Oof. Big, big oof. Oh, back to the flat boy. And you know, I don't think this is coming out on a Friday, so I can't say it's Flat Fuck Friday either. Alright. But, yeah, I just always get happy, and when I see people who are making fun of my friends' artwork, or even, like, friends who are writers, and people are making fun of them, it just pisses me off. Like, come on. Y'all, don't be bullies. Like, people are out here sharing stuff with you that they made, and you are able to look at and interact with for free, and you're just gonna laugh at them and pull the, haha, this thing you made totally sucks. Who is that helping? What good is that doing to the world? All you're doing is just making people realize what a dick you are. I remember one of my friends from Discord has... I'm not gonna call her out, but she has an OC and a project related to that OC for a fandom that we're both in that she has worked on for a long time. And she's very self-conscious about it because people have made fun of her for it in the past before. But recently she she started interacting a lot with this one artist who's got a decent amount of popularity in that fandom, and she commissioned that artist to draw some comics for her character, interacting with the canon characters, and basically like help her bring this AU story that she's had for years to life. And it's been really cool. A lot of people have been liking the series. But early on, there was one of the first videos that this artist put up on her channel showing the comics that she made. And mind you, these comics have been doing so well that a popular voice acting channel that is also really well known in the fandom has started dubbing these comics. Oh, hold up, got Annie again. But you know what? Here's a figure on how us country folk fight back. We've been studying up on polycultures. Oh? Rotating crops and animals, minimal water use is just what we needed. If the county mayor thinks he's stitched us up, then he can think again. So you've been studying polyculture, have you? Resisting making the pineapples joke. If you know, you know. I mean, hey, no disrespect to the polyamory people. I myself don't really care about that sort of stuff. I mentioned it before, but I'm pansexual, demi-romantic, and in my opinion, as long as everybody involved is an aware and consenting adult, it's not a thing of, oh, you, like, one of my friends who I used to live with for a while, she's polyamorous, and any girlfriends that she's had have been completely aware of this fact. Like, she doesn't hide it, she doesn't try to sneak it by them, because if you have to lie and go around behind your partner's back, then you're not polyamorous, you're just a freaking cheater and a whore. No apologies there. If you feel like you have to do that, then you're not in a polyamorous relationship. Anyway. But, yeah, so like I said, these comics have been doing well enough that a voice acting channel that this artist also is on good terms and good friends with has taken notice and has started doing voice acting. So the comics are now getting dubbed pretty regularly. And on one of the first couple of comics that got posted, there was a commenter on one of them that was making fun of the OC, comparing her to pretty much like there's a character on the show who is used kind of mean-spiritedly sometimes, but it's still a joke character, where it's basically like the creator's embodiment of some more toxic traits of the fandom sort of thing. But he compared her to that, and then when he started getting called out on it, both by my friend and by a couple of other people who were being like, dude, why do you have to make fun of people like that? And his defense in the comments, because he was getting rightfully torn apart, and good on the people who did, because the guy was being a dick. But, like, he tried to say, like, hey, I thought a 12-year-old was behind it. I'm like, so you think a 12-year-old paid to have the comic made? Because it even says in the title of the video that it was a commission comic that was done. And it's like, so you either think that, it's like, one, you either think that a 12-year-old had the money for this, and you're still and you're that clueless about how much it costs to actually commission an artist to make something. And if you really did think it was a 12-year-old, then why are you making fun of them? Do you just like picking on children? And then, otherwise, otherwise it's that you're trying to save face and be like, well, I only made fun of it because I thought it was a child who did it. But, you know, that's a terrible excuse. So, like, no matter what excuse this guy tried to use, he just came across as a dick at that point. And people just kind of kept tearing into him, and it was very satisfying to see. And mind you, neither the artist nor my friend, like, my friend did, like, respond to his comment and be like, actually, I'm not a kid. It's like, I actually have been working really hard on this OC for a long time. And this is a project that I posted about before on different social medias, but I finally have the money to commission artists to make it. So yeah, like, she was not being aggressive with him. The artists themselves was not being aggressive. but it was still very much karmatic that he was getting torn apart by people in the comment section because they recognized this guy was just saying these things to be a troll. And it was hilarious watching him fight for his life. Now, it would have been one thing, like I said, there's always a difference between criticism and just being a bully and giving toxic criticism. Because, you know, you don't have to like everything that every person makes. That's perfectly fine. Everybody's got different tastes. Even within the same fandoms, people have different preferences. But when all you're doing is just making fun of something just for the sake of making fun of it, then you're just being a dick. And that is what this guy learned the hard way, and he kept trying to fight back and being like, well, it's like, you guys didn't have to comment on this, huh? Why are you saying stuff about me when you're doing the same thing? You didn't have to leave these comments. And it's like, there's a difference. These people are ganging up on you for being a troll, whereas you were just trying to hurt somebody's feelings and make them feel like shit. So yes, no sympathy for that guy. He got rightfully roasted in the comments. But, like I said, you don't have to like everything, but if you don't like it, then you don't have to go out of your way to type up a comment, or, like, I've seen people do this too, and it always pisses me off. You don't have to go to the trouble of reposting it in another social media, or grabbing it and saving it to Discord so you can laugh about it with your friends or whatever. No, you don't have to go to all that. Just, you know, if you don't like it, don't interact. Ancient rules of the internet that time has seemed to have forgotten. But, yeah. That was one of the older rules of the internet that we really need to bring back more, is if you don't like, don't interact. If somebody is shipping something you personally don't like, cool. You don't have to look at it. And yes, I know that opens the doorway for, like, all sorts of really disgusting ships. And as sad as it is to say, unfortunately, I still think the rule applies. Like, it is fictional, and I do recognize the harm that it does to when people normalize certain sorts of ships. Now, I'm not saying normalize it by any means, but if you're not into those ships, or if you're not into that sort of content, then block the tags for it. You're not going to stop people from shipping it. You're not going to stop people from consuming the content for it. They're still going to do it regardless. And all you're going to do is just upset yourself by trying to police it constantly. Because a lot of people are brave enough to post stuff like that and they're not going under anonymous or anything. That is the proof that they really don't care what others have to say about their work. They're posting it because that's what they like. And you can not agree with it and think it's disgusting all you want, but if we get into that thing of bullying somebody for liking one thing, then it opens the door for them to bully you for other things. So, one thing that I will say as an example of that is I've mentioned before, I think in one of my previous PowerWash videos actually, that there are certain fandoms where I enjoy the content, but I stay away from certain groups within the fandoms because the fandoms can be incredibly toxic. And ironically, it's always the ones that are the most about, like, love, friendship, family, for the actual canon content. I think I got everything on this wall. Cool. A little bit on the eaves, but I'll get those when I get up to the roof later. I think I might just save this entire front wall for when I'm done. So, let's see. What do I have left to get over here? Just go ahead and get the top little areas here. But, yeah, so, anyway, one fandom that I am very, very careful with what groups and what stuff I look at with is Undertale. And a big part of that is because there is a lot of toxicity within the Undertale fandom. And, like, if you don't agree with that, if you've only had good experiences, then cool. I'm happy that you've only ever had good experiences in that fandom. I have seen a lot of messed up shit. But oh, hold up. Park Ranger. Pete Cleanin', what do you like with coordinates? We've got a goodness knows what over at Power Falls, but it's way out in the wilderness. I mean, hey, if you're paying me, I'll find a way to get there. So I'm very scared what this goodness gracious level threat is that I'm being tasked with cleaning up. Anyway, you know what, actually? Why am I doing this on the ladder? I have a freaking stand literally right over here. Let's grab you. Face that way. I think that's the closest I'm gonna get to it. But, yeah. So, part of the toxicity within the Undertale fandom very much comes from the shipping culture of that fandom. And there's a lot of inappropriate ships, particularly ones involving things that will get me demonetized if I talk about them too much on YouTube. Not that I'm monetized anyway, but like, how to put it, they could get me banned for mentioning those words, because I don't know how bad YouTube's guidelines are for this right now, and I'm not trying to test it, but lots of shipping with the brothers in that game, lots of shipping with the minor character in that game, and yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of hard to avoid it because at this point it's so heavily ingrained within the fandom. Which, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna participate in it, but I'm not going to sit here and police people for it, because the moment you do that, then you really can't open your mouth to defend yourself if, say, let's say you ship Papyrus and Metaton. The moment you start attacking people for shipping something else, then you can't really complain when people go, ew, Papyrus and Metaton is so toxic. Papyrus has like a idol worship thing. That would be such an unhealthy dynamic. You're really opening yourself up to it where people are going to try and police you as well. And I'm not saying either group is right in that situation. But it's one of those things where you kind of just gotta learn to accept that people are gonna ship things you don't like. People are going to post things you don't like. The only thing you can do for yourself is just don't interact with them. Apply this to really just about anything online, including the political stuff, the things from the news that you may not want to interact with and all that. And it'll make your life less stressful. Now, I'm not saying bury your head in the sand and create your own little safe space bubble or whatever, but if you know it's upsetting you, if you know it makes you uncomfortable to look at, if you have trauma related to certain things, then you need to take responsibility and ownership for your own experience. It is not the responsibility of everybody else on the internet to cater to you. And it's annoying to me that it feels like in the past few years, people have tried to make it that way. Because I will, like, it's one thing if somebody forgets to tag something correctly. It's another, like, for instance, going back to the Undertale example, if somebody makes a picture of Papyrus and Sans and is very much in a non-brotherly context, and they do not tag it with the proper ship tags or warnings, then yes, call them out for that. Be like, hey, you need to make sure you're tagging your stuff properly, because this could be a problem for people who are uncomfortable or have trauma related to this sort of thing. Versus somebody looking at it when it's tagged properly and then still being like, this is disgusting. How can you post this online? Do you know what you're doing to people out there? You're making this seem like it's normal. And yes, I agree, it's still not a great thing. But if they are being at least responsible with it, they are tagging it the way it needs to be so that people can block it and not see that content, then you really don't have a leg to stand on. You can't just go through the vast reaches of the darkness that is the internet and expect to never, ever, ever see anything that upsets you or that makes you uncomfortable. It's not realistic. And if you go into it with that expectation, all you're gonna be is disappointed. And possibly upset and triggered. And I don't mean triggered in the overused way that a lot of people tend to say it. No, I mean you're, like, genuine triggered, like, actual trauma level triggered. Which I've had to deal with that before. It's not a great feeling. It's not fun when you stumble upon something that at first, you thought was something you'd really be into, only to get smacked in the face with something that gives you horrible feelings and flashbacks to things that you've dealt with before. It's not good. It's a horrible feeling, and I completely sympathize with it. But at the same time, if it was tagged properly and I still ventured into it to see if I was ready to handle it, or I ignored the warnings, then I take full ownership, and that is on me. That is my fault for trying to push myself, or for thinking that it couldn't be as bad as the tags were warning me it was. So you cannot put the responsibility of your online experience on the rest of the world. Sorry, I know that's kind of, my rants are going all over the place today. I guess I'm just in one of those moods, I think I need to move this a little bit closer to get anything good with that. Yeah, which way? That way. That should be good enough. Like I said before, if any of y'all don't agree with the things I'm saying, that is totally fine. We are allowed to have different opinions, but I have been around long enough to state with confidence that getting upset and causing fandom drama and lashing out at people for what they like, it does not accomplish anything. It just makes everybody involved more upset and heated. And sad to say, I have seen fandom dramas escalate to the point of people being cyberbullied and being threatened and pressured into leaving certain platforms or becoming so depressed and self-conscious about their work that they just stop posting altogether. And that is something really sad to see. That is somebody who had their passion and what they love to do twisted and ruined for them. And I have gotten so upset, especially seeing friends of mine who have gone through that, when all they were trying to do was just post their artwork or their stories and be like, hey, this is a thing that I made, isn't it cool? Only to have people attack them for it. I actually had one of my friends on Discord, and I'm not going to name drop her because I'm not putting her through that, but she had one OC that she made once, and she drew pictures for and everything, who was the OC was basically the wife of the bad guy in this one animated movie. And I say this again, anything that's about friendship and family is always the most toxic in the fandoms. Trying to just see where the last spots I'm missing are at. And there was another person who also had an OC that was married to that same character. And instead of it being oh, hey, we both had a similar idea, she tried to act like she owned that concept, that nobody else was allowed to make any sort of content. Like, nobody else could, because she made an OC for that purpose, that nobody else could. That she had some sort of claim on this character or this concept. And it turned into just the most ugly fandom drama of her her posting about it and sending people after, like, sending her followers towards my one friend to harass her. But then when our friends, tried to speak back against it, being like, hey, you're being a bully and all that, and, just trying to call them out for it, then she turned it around into, oh my gosh, you need to stop sending your people after me. They're harassing me. They're bullying me. And it was always the annoying double standard of her being like, I mean, I'm not telling them to do this. I can't control them. I can't make them stop. But then at the same time, like I said, she had the expectation that my friend had some sort of control over all the people who were defending her. It was a double standard hypocrisy, and the bullying got so bad that it gave my friend anxiety and made her leave the fandom and honestly just stop talking on social media in general for a while. And one of our other friends actually compiled the the feud and like drama, history, timeline, whatever you want to call it. It's, there we go. And put it together with like dates, messages, events listed, and posted it online. Again, our friend was not making her do that, but she was just so sick of this completely toxic person bullying our friend that she went ahead and did this because she was so tired of this other person trying to twist the narrative to people that she got all this together and posted it. And it was just such a sad thing to see, to basically be like, well, I also made something for this, so so nobody else is allowed to do this. And if you do, then I'm going to bully and harass you for trying to have a similar idea to me. And it was just heartbreaking to see all of the stress and anxiety and depression that our friend endured because of all this. Because she was going through enough in her personal life that she did not need that crap piled on top of it. She did not deserve to have that piled on with it. And the fact that she had to deal with it at all was disgusting. So yeah, don't be like that, please, people. Don't be that. And I really hope that I wouldn't have anybody following me who would be like that, which, if you are and you get offended by that, leave. Please leave. Oh, there's Harper. Fellow fans of mystery, anyone got any juicy theories on who might have stolen the merman's gems? We know. It was the mayor. It was absolutely the mayor. Bitch causing problems left and right, trying to take my cat after he didn't give a shit about poor Ulysses, and just wanted to use him as a political prompt, or prop. I don't know why I said prompt. But, yeah, like I was saying, if I do have any people who think that sort of behavior is okay, and you want to get upset about me saying that, or you want to leave, please, by all means. I do not have... okay, I did get all together. Nice. I do not have the patience to deal with that level of entitlement and nonsense. Now I would rather people just go than subject the others who are just here to have... Whoop! Fell off again. But I would rather have people leave than try to subject anyone else to that level of entitlement. Yeah, this one works better. Because I do not have the patience for it. I do not have the mental fortitude for it. If I am not interested in dealing with it, then I will ignore you. And then if you keep trying to push me to do something, then I'm not afraid to emotionally and verbally destroy people. I have done it before, and I will do it again in a heartbeat. I said it before, I don't really care what people say to me or about me, but I will not put up with anybody that I care about being bullied or harassed. So if I ever feel like somebody is being that type of person, I'll just block them. I'm not gonna let them harass and ruin something that we're all just here to relax and have a good time with. And like I said, if anybody out there is that type of person, cool. Either keep it to yourself or leave. Because I will not put up with that sort of behavior ever. Even when, like, whoop. Alright, I think I need to move the ladder over here because I keep falling off over here. Come on. Now even the ladder is wanting to fight me today. There. Finish blasting this one window clean. Like I said, I really hope that nobody who would ever follow me would be that type of person, because I know my channel is tiny right now. I know that pretty much everybody who's here is because they either, I mean, a good portion of the people who have been here since the beginning are people that I know from other sites, Tumblr, Discord, AO3, actually. But I know none of y'all would ever be those types of people, because I don't associate with them. But if you ever see anybody who's trying to act like that, let me know and I'll handle it. Don't try to deal with it yourselves. I don't want anybody getting stressed out like that. Y'all don't need to. It's not your battle to fight. I appreciate it if you feel like it is, but I don't ever want to see my friends feel like they have to fight my battles for me. And I know I've got some people out there who are hardcore, ride or die. My sister and my partner are both subscribed to me, which, love you guys if you see this. And I know they would fight for me if they felt like somebody was trying to harass me in any way. But I can handle myself just fine. I don't need the people I care about getting stressed, because y'all have enough to deal with life, family, all that other stuff already. So I don't mind. Alright, now let's do this guy. And start working on the flat parts of the roof now that we got the little window areas taken care of. But like I said, if you do see somebody who is being a troll like that and I somehow miss it, let me know. I'll deal with it. I have pretty thick skin when it comes to this sort of thing. It takes a lot. Like, even with my anxiety, it takes a lot for anybody to say anything that actually upsets me. So I am used to dealing with egotists, narcissists. I'm used to dealing with bigots. So whatever they feel like they have to say, it's really not gonna get to me at this point. I have become immune to the fandom dramas. At least when they are targeted at me. I will always just do what I want to do, and if anybody else vibes with that, then that's cool. If anybody doesn't, you're more than welcome to go find something else. If you don't like listening to me ramble and rant and go on all these little stream of consciousness type of videos, then yeah, you're more than welcome to go check out something else on the channel. I just kind of use these PowerWash simulators, supermarket simulator, the ones where you're kind of just chilling, idly doing a task. Those are definitely more of the stream of consciousness type of videos, because if I just kind of stood here and went, alright guys, so what you want to do with this sort of grime is switch over to the power washer with a flat head, and then just move it in circles. I feel like that would get very boring after a while, so I just kind of ramble about whatever, and I never really go into these videos with any sort of plan, like, at all. I do not plan anything, I do not plan out any reactions, I do not go, okay, in today's Power Wash Simulator video, I'm gonna tackle the sociological issues of being a modern person on the internet. No, it just, I start rambling, and then it goes from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And if you don't like that sort of thing, that's totally fine. I get it. Like I said, I know I ramble. I know I talk a lot. I know I probably say a lot of things that people be like, oh my gosh, why are you bothering with that? We all know this already. We're not babies. then that's fine. You don't have to watch this one. I've got others where if you want something more story-focused, which is genuinely just me playing a game, reacting to the environment and the plot, then I would say go check out Dispatch, check out Kingdom Hearts. If you want to hear me scream and freak out over zombies and being attacked randomly, then go check out my Left 4 Dead videos. I've got different content just based on whatever it is that I'm doing or what I'm playing. So there's probably something out there that somebody would like. And if not, that's cool too. Cuddy. Yeah, I know exactly who it was. Peter Wrangler, 38 Acacia Avenue. He's always moaning about the merman hum. Plus he owns an angle grinder. I know, because he's always cutting bricks in his yard. Case closed. No, I'm telling y'all, it's the mayor. It is 1000% the mayor. Okay. Let's see what I'm missing on the roof here. Get these last couple little spots out of the way. Let's see, anything else? I think this part counts as the next roof. Come on. I am so close. What's a big area that I'm missing? Come on. I want to be finished with this side already. I've been going for an hour now. I want to be done with this side of the roof so I can finish this stupid barn. Alright, let's swap over. Just get something to generally blast any little spots that I see. Whoop. Oh, hold up. I think I see what it is. Get some stuff around the edge. Oh yeah, speaking of edge, did you guys see there was like a Twitter post? And yes, I'm still gonna forever call it Twitter instead of X because screw that guy. But did you guys see the like Twitter post from the Microsoft Corporation around like New Year's? Where they were saying like, it's been a great year for searching and doing all sorts of stuff online. How about you show us your best edges? And it was like, oh no. Oh no, somebody on that team does not know internet preferences, does not go on adult sites, does not have an active bedroom life. They are setting themselves up and they don't even know it. And immediately the first thing you see under there is this post has been deleted. And it's like, brand type of, like, you can have these brand Twitters that are the funniest freaking thing in the world. And then you can have some where it's just obvious that the people who are put in charge of this very obviously do not know what they are doing and are just here to write little blurbs and get a paycheck for it. Did I say along the edge here? And it's like, you see that stuff and you gotta wonder, okay, is there like any sort of quality check team? Is there anybody who this sort of thing gets run by before it gets posted? Or do they just, like, let these guys go wild? Oh, is it am I missing something from the front part? Is that what it is? Like, I bet I'm missing something from the little side. Yeah, that's what it was. It was the side lip. Okay. I hate finishing a video before I finish the actual thing that I started on, but I've still got this half of the roof to go, the very top, and I've got this front wall. So I think I'm gonna have to save the rest of this for next time because I've got some things I gotta finish up today. But, like I said, next time we'll finish out the barn and then probably do at least one more, or at least get one more started, and then hopefully I'll be back on to, like, doing one full thing per video. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Aw, game over already? Don't worry, there's always more fun to be had later. If you enjoyed your stay, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for visiting Arya's Arcade. Bye-bye!